Good evening. Welcome to World News. I am Jessica Magaji Joseph. First, the headlines. Nigeria government plans national honors for notable Nigerians. South Africa's education bill threatens coalition Democratic Alliance says. World leaders laughing at Trump for being a disgrace, says Kamala Harris. And on sport, Brazil and Argentina lose in World Cup qualifying. And now the news in detail. President Bola Tinubu has approved the commencement of the 2024 National Honors Award to Nigerians and friends of Nigeria who have contributed to the development of the country. The Minister of Special Duties and Intergovernmental Affairs, Zafania Jisalu, made this known at a meeting with the management staff of the ministry on Tuesday in Abuja. Jisalu said that the federal government would also honor Nigerians who have distinguished themselves in their various fields of endeavors. The minister explained that the forms and processes leading to the award of national honors were free of charge, adding that people should desist from paying for national honors. He said with this information, the public is to watch out for calls for nominations and present individuals who have distinguished themselves by uplifting the nation and its people. The Nigerian Meteorological Agency has predicted thunderstorms and rain from Wednesday to Friday across the country. NIMET's weather outlook released on Tuesday in Abuja envisaged thunderstorms over parts of Borno, Adamawa, Taraba, Yobe, Katsina, Sokoto, and Kaduna State during the morning hours on Wednesday in the northern region. According to NIMET, thunderstorms are expected over parts of Kano, Borno, Katsina, Adamawa, Kaduna, Taraba, Zamfara, Kebbi, and Jigawa State during afternoon and evening hours. In the north-central region, thunderstorms are anticipated over parts of the Federal Capital Territory, Nasarawa, and Niger State during the morning hours. The chairman of the Independent Electoral Commission, Mahmoud Yakubu, on Tuesday expressed satisfaction with the mock accreditations in Benin, confirming INEC's readiness to conduct a free, fair, and credible elections in Edo State on September 21st. The INEC chairman gave the assurance when he paid an on-the-spot assessment visit to the 3 local government areas where the mock accreditation took place on Tuesday. The mock accreditation held in the Ego, Ipoba, Oka, and Oredo local government areas of the state. Addressing newsmen after the exercise in Benin, Yakubu said from his assessment, the commission was fully ready for the September 21st governorship election, noting that the electorate had nothing to worry about. When we return, news from other parts of Africa. Please stay with us. Thanks for staying with us. Congolese authorities say that 50,000 doses of smallpox vaccine from the United States arrived on Tuesday, a week after the first batch arrived from the European Union. Adults in Equateur, South Kivu, and Sankuru, the 3 provinces most affected, will be vaccinated first starting on October 2nd. Chris Kasita Osako, coordinator of the Congolese Committee for the Fight Against Monkeypox, told the Associated Press. Last week, the first batch of smallpox vaccine arrived in the capital of Congo, the center of the epidemic. The 100,000 doses of Janus vaccine, manufactured by the Danish company Bavarian Nordic, were donated by European Union through HERA, the Union's Agency for Health Emergencies. A further 100,000 doses were delivered over the weekend. The 50,000 doses from the USA will be of the same Janus vaccine. These 250,000 doses represent only a fraction of the 3 million doses, which, according to the authorities, are needed to put an end to the smallpox epidemics in Congo, the epicenter of the global health emergency. EU countries have pledged to donate a further 500,000 doses, but the timetable for their delivery is unclear. South Africa's Democratic Alliance said on Wednesday an education bill that President Cyril Ramaphosa plans to sign into law this week threatens the future of the unity government, the first sign of real friction between the coalition partners. The Democratic Alliance entered into a coalition with Ramaphosa's African National Congress and other smaller parties this year after the ANC lost its parliamentary majority, despite strong ideological differences between them. The disputed bill makes several changes to basic education law in South Africa, including around homeschooling, preschool, and language policy. The DA said it is concerned about the right to mother tongue education, but the ANC says the reforms would help to prevent the exclusion of learners based on language, which can be used as a proxy for racial exclusion. The DA statement followed the presidency's statement, saying that Ramaphosa will sign into law the Basic Education Laws Amendment Bill on Friday. Such a move would violate the agreement and understandings that form the basis of the government of national unity, DA leader John Steenhuisen said in a statement. We move to other parts of the world after this break. Please stay with us. Thanks for staying with us. Iran's new president, Massoud, began a visit to Iraq on Wednesday, aiming to deepen already close ties with the neighboring country on his first trip abroad since taking office. The three-day trip comes amid turmoil in the Middle East sparked by the war in Gaza, which has drawn in Iran-backed armed groups around the region and complicated Iraq's relations with the United States. Prime Minister Mohammed Shia al-Sudani welcomes the President of the Islamic Republic of Iran, Massoud, the Iraqi premier officer said in a brief statement. The Iraqi president has vowed to make relations with neighboring countries a priority as he seeks to ease Iran's international isolation and mitigate the impact of US-led sanctions on its economy. His visit comes after Western powers on Tuesday announced fresh sanctions on Iran for supplying Russia with short-range missiles for the use against Ukraine. Iranian Foreign Ministry spokesman Nassar Kanani warned Britain, France, and Germany that they will face the appropriate and proportionate action for the hostile move. Hours before Pezeshkian's arrival, an explosion rocked a base at the airport used by a US-led anti-jihadist coalition, Iraqi security officials stated. The United States Vice President and Democrat presidential candidate Kamala Harris has said world leaders sees ex-President Donald Trump as a disgrace. Harris disclosed this during the presidential debate on Tuesday. She also stated that the former U.S. president is a laughingstock among world leaders. According to Harris, she has traveled the world as vice president of the United States and world leaders are laughing at Donald Trump. The U.S. vice president noted that Trump does not have the temperament or the ability to not be confused about facts. Up next is business. Please stay with us.
This is Hillstv.
Welcome back. And on business news, economists have upgraded their expectations for Singapore's growth in 2024, according to a survey by the country's central bank published on Wednesday, with better than expected external growth seen as a top upside driver for the economy. The median forecast of 21 economists surveyed by the Monetary Authority of Singapore is for the economy to grow 2.6% this year, up from a forecast of 2.4% in surveys done in March and June. They also forecast economic growth of 2.5% in 2025. A majority of the economies surveyed by MAS did not expect any change in policy settings at the central banks reviewed in October. They expect the city-state economy to grow by an annual 2.6% in the third quarter of this year. A September survey showed economists had lifted expectations for 2024 growth in finance and insurance, construction, wholesale and retail trade sectors. Last month, the Trade Ministry adjusted its GDP growth forecast range for 2024 to 2.0% to 3.0%, from 1.0% to 3.0% previously, as second quarter GDP outperformed market expectations at 2.9%. Britain's shift towards a service-dominated economy is accelerating, pushing manufacturing's share of economic output to a historic low and setting the nations apart from its global peers. Recent data show the makeup of the world's sixth biggest economy is changing fast, driven by global trends but also domestic factors such as Brexit and increasingly London-centric growth. Britain now exports more in services, which include finance, accountancy, legal advice, management, consultancy, and advertising, than it does goods, a first among the group of 7 large advanced economies. What's more, the gap is widening fast. Meanwhile, manufacturing's share of Britain's economic output sank to a record low of 9.2% during the second quarter of this year. According to official data, compared with 9.9% before the COVID-19 pandemic, calculations based on national accounts data. Although factory output itself is almost a fifth higher than its level of the mid-20s, then expansion has halted in recent years. Still to come, sports news. Please stay with us.
This is Hillstv.
Thanks for staying with us. And moving on to sports news, at least 7 teams currently have a maximum 6 points after the match day 2 fixture of the 2025 Africa Cup of Nations qualifying fixtures. The teams with maximum 6 points are DR Congo, Ivory Coast, Egypt, Angola, Algeria, Morocco, and Tunisia. They all won their first 2 games of the 2025 AFCON qualifiers. Meanwhile, the likes of Nigeria, Tanzania, Mozambique, Kenya, Uganda, South Africa, and Burkina Faso all have 4 points each. The match day 3 fixtures will take place next month. Brazil suffered their 4th defeat in 5 qualifying games with a 1-0 loss to Paraguay, as Argentina were beaten 2-1 by Colombia in the latest qualifying matches for the 2026 World Cup. Inter Miami's Diego Gomez scored the winner for Paraguay in Asunción after 20 minutes, as Brazil failed to register a shot on target in the first half. Liverpool goalkeeper Alisson, Newcastle midfielder Bruno Guimaraes, and West Ham playmaker Lucas all started for Brazil, with a Real Madrid trio of Rodrigo, Endrick, and Vinicius Jr. in attack. The results leave first-time world champions Brazil 5th in the qualifying table with just 3 wins in their 8 games. Manager Dorival Jr. was appointed in January, and his side lost in the Copa America quarterfinals in the summer. Nottinghamshire have signed New Zealand seamer Jacob Duffy as the battle to avoid relegation from Division 1 of the county's championship. The 30-year-old, who has earned 14 T20 and 6 one-day international caps for his country, has taken 293 first-class wickets across his 12-year professional career. Duffy joins North for their final 2 red ball matches this season, with the East Midlands side 3rd from bottom in the table, 10 points ahead of Lancashire in the 2nd relegation spot, going into their current game against Essex. England's Matt Wallace held his nerve to win the European Masters in Switzerland after a playoff against Spain's Alfredo Garcia Heredia. The 34-year-old was pegged back after going into the final day with a 4-shot lead. But a birdie on the additional hole, the 18th gave Wallace his 5th DP World Tour title and first for 6 years. Wallace has level for his final round, but a birdie at the last allowed Garcia Heredia to join him on 11 under after a 4-under round of 66. Wallace's compatriot Andrew Beef Justin was also close to tears after his 66 enabled him to finish third on 10 under after struggling in recent years with injuries and form. He said there is a lot of relief, noting that it has been a tough couple of years. And that's the sport news on World News. We move to the rest of the news after this break. Please stay with us.
This is Hillstv. Quality broadcasting is what we'll bring to you. Now we be this
Hillstv, Polka.
Welcome back. And now to the rest of the news. Tuesday's event in Philadelphia gave Americans their most detailed look at a campaign that has dramatically changed since the last debate in June. Moderators asked the two for their stances on the economy, abortion, climate change, and foreign policy, including the ongoing conflict between Russia and Ukraine and the Israel-Hamas wars. Harris focused her early remarks on the economy, while Trump often pivoted to immigration and promoted conspiracy theories. The two candidates also had an intense exchange over abortion, with Harris saying women are bleeding out in parking lots and Trump sidestepping a question about a national ban on the procedure. The back and forth at the National Constitution Center was riddled with false and misleading comments, including on job growth and a baseless claim about Haitian immigrants. Meanwhile, Trump's allies had hoped he would stay on message and turn around what has been a rocky summer for his campaign. The debate could be the only time before the November election that Harris and Trump could make their case in front of a television audience of tens of millions of voters.
And so we got some work to do because, listen, I think that we think today was a good day, and it kind of was. But we have 56 days to go, and guys, we're still the underdogs in this race. It's tight. We believe in who we are. We believe in the American people. This is a campaign about bringing folks together, knowing the vast majority of us have so much more in common than what separates us.
All I do is say the truth. I say the truth. If I lose votes or gain votes, I don't care. But this was my best debate. I thought it was very good. I thought she was very weak on foreign policy. She was very weak on the border.
What about black voters? What about black voters, Mr. President? What do you think black voters
I love black voters. I love them.
And that's world news. But before we go, here are the headlines again. We told you that the Nigerian government plans national honors for notable Nigerians. South Africa's education bill threatens coalition Democratic Alliance, says. World leaders laughing at Trump for being a disgrace, says Kamala Harris. And in sport, Brazil and Argentina lose in World Cup qualifying. Remember to visit us on Facebook at Hillstv Abuja, Instagram at Hillstv Abuja, and subscribe to our YouTube channel at Hillstv. I am Jessica Magaji Joseph. Thanks for watching.